I'm Brandon. I love ABC Family Christmas movies.
Hi, I'm Ryan. I like ABC Family Christmas movies.
Hi, I'm Dan, and I guess I despise ABC Family Christmas movies, and this is the Deck the Hallmark Podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast.
Brandon and friends host this podcast.
We hope you like this jolly podcast.
No.
Not today.
No.
Not today. No.
No.
Absolutely not.
Talking to Ryan.
Yeah,
Go.
not today.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Deck the Hallmark. Christmas in July edition. Going back in the old time machine.
Yes, because
To watch
normally
them-
we only watch movies that came out this week.
That's right. The ABC Family back in 2004.
And if you're not
with our
watching
guy
on
Ryan.
philo.tv/DTH, we're speaking with Ryan Pappolla, who owns a motocross t-shirt.
That's right.
Yeah, shout out to Instagram bootleggers. I don't remember which one I got this from. but-
Motocross merch. He owns a motocross t-shirt.
What a sick shirt.
What a shirt it is.
You've never been cuter.
I mean,
Just
Aw,
adorable.
thanks, man.
this guy.
Just adorable.
Our episode of Motocross on Decom Descendants comes out this Friday.
That's exactly right. And then next Friday, Ryan, you're going to be joining us to talk about Luck of the Irish, which we are doing this weekend at Bramblefest, among many, many other things. Very excited about this weekend. And very excited to hang out with you, Ryan.
Back at you. I found a dog last year at Bramblefest.
That's right.
Which
who knows
extended your trip 3 days?
Yeah.
roughly.
You had to drive a car back.
17 hours, and then I went on TV right after. It was great.
It was great, though, because I got to have you over for dinner. It was,
Oh, that
it
was
was
lovely.
wonderful. Yeah.
There you go.
Dan didn't invite me over. But
Yeah. Yeah, sure didn't. I was out of town, to be fair.
No.
That's not what he said.
No, both were very hospitable. Yeah, no, I can't wait. I'm packing as we speak. It's gonna be great.
Well,
Not as
we're
we
actually
speak.
talking.
Yeah,
We're
but,
speaking
yeah.
right now.
Yeah, there's
You know.
no way that you're packing right now. I don't think so, anyway.
And I don't want to, again, talk about Let's Potter Parade too many times. Is it the best thing I've ever done? Maybe. I think it might be. But we have a new Let's Potter Parade coming out soon, very soon. And I also want to tease that not in this episode, not in this upcoming episode, but in future episodes of Let's Potter Parade, Ryan, you and I will have a uniform, and it is wonderful.
How much money did the company spend on this?
Less,
done.
actually, great question, first of all. At the worst, it was going to be like $50.
Okay.
But
But
I got refunded.
What?
Because we thought it got lost in the mail. And I was like, hey, it got lost in the mail. What's going on here? Because it just wasn't updated. It
And
had
so
been a
they
week,
refunded you, and then it came.
and then it came the next day.
Wow. That's a win right there.
That's a classic brand can't get in trouble for this scenario.
Can't get in trouble for it.
And to be fair, I said, I think it's been lost in the mail. If it comes, I'll send it back to you, or I'll give you the money back or whatever. And it was like, just keep it no matter what.
Wow.
There you go.
This
I mean,
company,
It was eBay.
above and beyond.
Electronic Bay. I mean,
Electronic Bay.
If
Man.
if you think I'm adorable in this motocrosser, just wait till you see me in Brandon.
Sheesh.
Oh, man.
I can't wait,
It's going to be
personally.
great. It's very excited, but also deckthehallmark.com/parade if you want to get started potting parades. It's it's a good time. Ryan, tell everybody kind of where you're at when it comes to so many different circumstances and things.
Circumstances and things?
Yes?
A solid 7, Bran.
I thought you might
Yeah,
be.
I was thinking he'd be in the
Now tell everybody
latter
your
half
history
there.
with the movie Snow, 2004.
that you own like a monster.
If only you had a what was it, a VHS,
VHS to Blu-ray combo. Yes.
Yeah, well, I have a VHS to DVD combo. The Blu-ray combo is tough to obtain.
It's a
tough
tough
to
find.
obtain.
Yeah.
I'd rather you guys just not keep bringing it up, but it's fine. No, listen, I don't know if I watched Snow live on first airing, but I definitely I bought it on physical media, and much like Holiday in Handcuffs, I watched for many, many years. I will tell you that Snow has fallen out of the yearly rotation for quite some years now.
Okay.
I also want to ask
But you do
this.
own it. Got it.
I'm sure
Yep.
you heard
I
a
own
lot.
Snow, too.
I'm sure you heard a lot of feedback from people last week about your disastrous.
Did you pray
take
about it and realize you were wrong?
On the movie, what did we talk about?
Mistletones.
Mistletones.
Hyphen tones.
Yes.
Have you thought about it more? Have you prayed about it?
I've seen nothing but positive affirmation in regards to my.
Wow.
Yeah, Elizabeth Cullen reached out to me directly to say that she thought that was one of the better episodes we've ever done. It's
well,
like,
the episode is
the
pure
episode's
fire.
great.
I
But
think
you're
that's-
wrong.
I think it was primarily because of my POV. No,
You think it was because of your POV?
Well, no, listen, it's a team effort here. We're
It's
the
a
96
team effort,
Bulls,
but you think it was a great episode
call it
because of your POV?
We call it a T-movie.
Man, this guy.
No. I listen, guys. I'm supposed to be like the lovable sidekick. I don't like the path we're going down here. Let's talk about other
And
things.
just this guy.
Let's talk Snow. How about that?
Yeah.
Snow.
Film, not the substance.
No, I mean, we can talk about that too. It's pretty dope, huh?
Yeah, I'm not mad at it.
You like it?
I like it.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
I'm a
thought
big
you
fan.
might. Yeah, I thought you might. Snow, December 13th, 2004 on ABC Family. And it went a little something like this. Sandy Brooks is looking for a Christmas tree that'll fit on the inside of her Jeep. She finds one. It's a little dinker. Cut to the North Pole where Nick, son of Santa, maybe is Santa, is feeding the reindeer when he realizes that a reindeer named Buddy is missing.
Buddy.
We see some dude like dart Buddy, like just out of the woods. Pew! Buddy, got him. He's good.
Gunshot.
Buddy's good, but Buddy is now not at the North Pole. Back to Sandy. She works at the craziest zoo ever, complete with elephant rides. And now, reindeer. While she's giving a tour, this dude runs up to her out of nowhere, and she does not seem to like him. He is the dude that shot the reindeer. He's responsible for that. She doesn't know that. He dropped the reindeer off at the zoo because I guess he's really into Sandy and wanted to show her
How cool
that he
it can be to poach animals.
Well, no, he did not poach this animal. He got it in the right way, is what he says.
That's what he says.
That's what he says.
Yes.
Sandy hates him, though, because traditionally he does poach animals. So Nick figures out where the reindeer is, and obviously we all know how this works, but uses the mirror portal system, where if you're in the North Pole, you have snow, you go through a portal, and bada bing, bada boom.
Bada bing, bada
You can
boom.
go wherever you want.
Go through portal.
And so he gets to where he is now, where Sandy is, the zoo, and is a bit taken by Sandy, understandably. And so he follows her home, not understandably. Nick meets Lorna, who I believe is like the landlady of the place. She and others live
there.
They're dwelling.
It is a
They're
house
dwelling.
with multiple tenants
Yeah.
in it, and Lorna is one of them.
That's right.
Who
And
also rents it.
Nick is going to stay there as well. She finds Nick to be a bit weird, seeing as how he has Arctic moss in his pockets. But he's going to stick around, partly because of Buddy. Buddy doesn't know how to fly yet. And also, I got to figure out the mirror system. How do I get a mirror
on the
to where
wall.
the reindeer
Of course,
is?
Yes.
Blah, blah, blah. But also because he's crushing hard. He gets help from a kid at the, I call him Kid of the Century. His name's Hector.
Kid of the Century.
Yeah, I know. It was a tough
Getting that
battle.
out already.
I know. Well, it's
76 years
Yeah.
left in the century.
You're right.
That's an early give
When
there.
do we revisit?
Man,
How about Kid of the Decade?
Kid of the Decade, I think pretty easily.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, great. Kid of the Decade. His name is Hector. I'm sorry. I realized I made a mistake.
Yeah,
It's-
I would
it's-
I
it's
would give
too
him
early.
Kid of the Quarter Century. We've not seen 2025 yet. I'd give it to him.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
early. Hector finds out that he's Santa and basically blackmails him into letting him help with the reindeer situation. He tries to make Sandy happy by decorating her house with all of her mom's old Christmas decorations. And at first she's mad, but then she looks, and what does she see, Dan?
What does she see, Brand?
Christmas.
Christmas.
And if that doesn't do it, I don't know what will. They have a Christmas party. They slow dance. They kiss. But Then they get a call that Buddy is missing. It is time for him to finally come clean to Sandy. He pulls her through a mirror, and she is like, "You're Santa! Wow, this is amazing!" Sees the workshop and all that good stuff. So bad guy Buck, from the beginning, if you recall, is now committed to catching Buddy because he apparently owns some guy a poached animal.
Yes.
Don't ask.
He's selling it. He's
selling
selling the reindeer for big money.
And so he is chasing after Buddy. Buddy's running through town, jumping all around, looking great, by the way, CGI reindeer.
Oh, yeah.
And it's at this point that they have figured out where Buddy's going to be. They set up the mirror, but it's by a bridge, and the bridge starts going up. You know, it's one of those bridges that goes up. What do you call those? Drawbridges.
You got it.
And the bridge is being drawn.
Yes. It's not being drawed. There's nobody out there drawing the bridge
Could be.
with a pen.
And so, drawed?
Drawn.
So,
Drone.
at this point, Buddy is now faced with a large gap, but Buck's right behind him.
Yeah.
Buck is about to shoot, and Buddy runs, takes a leap, and just as the dart is about to hit his booty, he flies. He finally gets his flying flies, and he flies up and right through the mirror. He's back where he is supposed to go. And so now it is time for Nick to talk to Sandy about the future. And he's like, "I would like for you to come with me." And she says, "I can't. I have zoo." I have zoo and I bought a zoo. What am I supposed to do? I'm sorry. So it's Christmas night, and she feels like she's made a huge mistake. So Nick shows up, and they tell each other that they love each other, of course.
And that she is going.
She would like to now go to North Pole, forget the zoo. And that, my friends, was No!
We did it.
We did do it.
Yeah.
Drawn.
Yeah.
Drawn.
Easy. It's an easy one.
We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to break this movie down here on Deck the Hallmark. Welcome back, everybody. We're talking about Snow, 2004, ABC Family.
How did we come about this? Like getting here, like Mistletoes, Holiday in Handcuffs. Are these the next two most popular from the genre of ABC Family 2000s?
Well,
Christmas
we've done
movies?
a couple of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Back
Snow
in the past.
Globe. We did the Mark Paul Gosselaar.
Yeah.
Wish we could have done that.
Yeah.
So, I
Yeah.
mean, we're really, Snow was on the list, and then Ryan requested that we follow it up with Snow 2.
Gotcha.
And just an early, not spoiler, like not because I think Snow 2 is a classic or anything, just it felt like the right symmetry to be had.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Completist.
There are other ABC families to do, and maybe we'll do them next year.
Gotcha. Okay.
But let's talk about Snow. Ryan, obviously you've seen this movie. You talked about it. And so I would love to hear your thoughts on this movie now that you've seen it in 2024. With your 2024 glasses on, what's your hot take on this year movie?
Yeah, I think it's really pleasant. I think the goal of these made-for-TV Christmas movies may be more. Oh man, look the way Dan's looking at me right now. I think the goal of these movies more
It's
than
okay
anything
if you
else.
think something's pleasant, Ryan.
Yeah, listen, I'm not here to tell you I think it's as good as Holiday in Handcuffs or even the Mark Paul number we just mentioned or any other great goated Hallmark.
Or
Or Mistletoes.
Yeah, Mistletoes is better than Snow. So I mean, like, yeah. So I think this film is pleasant. I think it creates characters and settings that we want to immerse ourselves in and forget about the problems of our lives. I think Ashley Williams, I'd never seen her before this. I think she's great in this.
Never seen her before this.
Whenever I saw this first 2000, anywhere between 2004 and
the
2000.
first time. I got you. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, and so I think she's great. I think Sandy's such a fun character. Hector, kid of the decade at least.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. And then Kavanaugh, I feel like Santa's maybe a tad too strange, and I'll tell you why in a minute, but Kavanaugh's great. And I think he's like blissfully bizarre throughout the whole thing. It's wild that Buck is the same guy that Kelly Kapowski fools around with in the college years. That's her professor.
Dang, you're right.
What a career that guy's had.
Well, he was in Better Call Saul. He's amazing in Better Call Saul.
He
Amazing.
He had a good arc on Veronica Mars. I'm not trying to be funny. He's had a really good, interesting, wild career. He's the character among the worst people in any of these made-for-TV Christmas movies ever. Just an awful, awful, awful person. But I don't know if I have a ton to say. I think the film is pleasant. I give them credit for not trying to reinvent the wheel. I like the film. I love Ashley Williams in it. That's my take, Brian.
Great take, Ryan. This movie's too weird to not at least enjoy. It is. I don't know. Like, I don't know how you come up with a plot like this, where like anybody could come up with Santa comes to America and falls in love with a woman. Anyone could do that.
Santa seeking Mrs. Claus.
But such a big part of the plot is that there's a new reindeer, doesn't know how to fly yet. There's a mirror portal.
Several. Yes.
And so that's good to do. There is a guy named Buck that poaches animals.
That's right.
And
sells them on the black market.
But also has a crush with a woman who's very much about animal conservation and works at a zoo.
Yeah.
It is a wild movie, a wild premise, and it's a really good time. Is it the best one we've seen this month from ABC Family? No. Is it the second best one we've seen from ABC Family this month? No. So that makes it the worst. But the worst of this month is better than other months' best from Hallmark.
I mean, I guess there has to be a month where Hallmark threw 4 movies.
I can think of a few.
I
can think of a few this year.
I love that these ABC Family films have made Dan so obnoxiously pro Hallmark.
No, I don't. No.
No one can compete with the magic of Hallmark.
Quick time out. What we got in Holiday in Handcuffs, I said at the time, was a just above average Hallmark. It was above average. That's what I said Holiday in Handcuffs was. It was above average Hallmark, but the best Hallmark is still better. Then I said the Mistletones was way better than Holiday in Handcuffs. So that is not my take at all. At all.
It's not what Brandon and I heard.
Of course it's not what you heard. Unfreeze.
Time in.
Rye Guy said this movie was pleasant. I would say that it's pleasantly terrible. This is a movie that has great performances, and Ashley Williams is always a joy and a delight, and she's having the time of her life here. Tom Cavanaugh is a pro. He's fantastic. Patrick Fabian, great. Bobby J. Thompson as Hector, kid of the decade at least. I think we've already said that. The film is packed with just zaniness and good performances. But it's basically like 25-year-old Ashley Williams having 2 creepy 40-year-olds vying for her affection. That's what this movie is. Underneath all the craziness that was mentioned by Bran, it's 2 really creepy dudes that are, 60% older than her, like vying for her affection. And it just wears kind of weird. The wait whats are aplenty in this movie. You're right, Bran. You couldn't dream up this premise because it doesn't make any sense at all. It feels like they are making it up as they go along to the point, and I'm sure we'll really plant and spend some time on this in the wait what department, but there's a reindeer that flies the sleigh that isn't named one of the reindeer that you know and love. We'll get there. But it's a wild premise. And Ashley Williams and Tom Cavanaugh and Patrick Fabian and Bobby J. Thompson, these folks make it work even when it shouldn't. But it's a mess of a movie, and I would be fine not seeing it again.
But I will say kudos to ABC Family for in 2004 going, let's give CGI reindeer a try.
Yeah.
And honestly,
no one at ABC Family was going over these with a fine-tooth comb.
Granted,
it's evident that they were like, dude gets arrested by the girl for Christmas, do it, shoot it, go for it. Like, it doesn't, they're over there just saying yes. We haven't had the subprime lending crisis yet. The housing bubble hasn't burst. They're just like, yes. They're just out here doing it.
No vetting. I mean, if you take, imagine like a side conversation between the gas station attendant and Holiday in Handcuffs and Buck.
Oh my gosh.
That movie's illegal.
Yeah, that conversation happens in jail.
Nowhere else.
Yeah.
Nowhere else. Let's get to all the feels we were talking about.
Like Tom Cavanaugh's character wasn't creepy as well. I want to be very
Oh no,
clear.
totally.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's why I think they probably should have toned. And there's another reason for this. I think they probably should have toned his weirdness back at least 30%.
At least a minimum of 30.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Brand.
It's time for all the feels. That's what we're talking about. What this movie gave us feels. Ryan.
I have a couple things that I think are nice, and one thing I quickly want to hone in on. The dinner scene at the whatever it is, the compound, really great.
Compound. It's as good as any other
Yeah,
word.
it may as well be
Yeah.
in this movie.
Nick telling the story of Santa at the zoo, really nice. Those two scenes I think are very, very nice in a movie that doesn't necessarily give you a ton of feels because of how strange it is. But I would say the biggest feel that I had was then quickly kind of axed. I love that Sandy slaps Buck so early in the movie because he's so wildly inappropriate. But then she apologizes. I don't like that she apologized. This gets worse in Snow 2, if I'm being honest. It's fine if you want to make Buck despicable. But they don't try to redeem him. But, like, I don't think we hit hard enough the fact that he's, like, really, really despicable.
They bring Buck back for Snow 2?
Yeah, which is like...
What?
Oh,
we'll
that's
get
bad.
There. We'll get there when we get there, but yeah.
It's a real brain freeze.
That is a real brain freeze if I've ever seen one. So there's occasionally you see something in a Christmas movie, and especially in regards to Santa, and you kind of add that to that could be lore. And a lot of it for me comes from Santa Claus, Tim Allen. That's just how it works. That's the North Pole.
Yeah.
That's
Reindeer on the roof.
Now, the thing that this movie does, which is an interesting concept when it comes to the toy situation, is that Santa makes one of each toy, and then the bag can duplicate it throughout the night. And that's an intriguing concept. It's an intriguing concept in the lore that is Santa Claus for how he does what he does. And I didn't expect to get that from this movie, like an actual, like, oh, that's interesting. I've never really thought about that for a possibility for how it happens.
Throw it on the lore.
Throw it on the lore. Dano?
Right. We've already said this several times, but Bobby J. Thompson, who plays Hector,
Talking about Kid of the Decade?
is a delight in this movie. He also made me, like, watching him made me remember one of my favorite comedies, Role Models. He is in that movie as well, and I'd forgotten how funny that movie was. He's great. He steals every scene he's in. Almost worth giving this movie a recommendation just so you can watch this kid do his thing. It isn't, but almost. So good for Bobby J. Thompson.
You like Fred Claus, Ryan?
I don't think I've seen it all the way through.
Yeah, there's a reason you stopped.
Yeah.
I think Fred Claus is weird.
Yeah, he's in Fred Claus.
Yeah, he is.
Oh wow, I think that's pretty close to this. Like, what a run of Christmas movies.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy. I love Fred Claus. I love Fred Claus. You can listen to me and Alonzo talk about it a couple years ago on morning Mondays.
Morning Mondays.
Whatever we call it.
25 weeks.
25 weeks of Christmas.
That's
Thanks.
what it
Let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll get to the way what here on Deck the
Hallmark.
Hallmark. Hello to my friends, my family, my compadres. Welcome back to Deck the Hallmark.
Awesome.
It is great to be here today talking about Snow from 2004. Topical, new, fresh.
That's right.
It's time for the Wait What. It's where we talk about what
If
this...
people don't listen to this 20-year-old movie review, I don't know what to
Y'all
tell
are
you.
dumb. Let's talk about the Wait What's. Ryan, anything in this movie made you go, wait, what? It's pretty airtight like a Ziploc, but...
Well, don't get me started on Ziploc.
Yeah. This guy's out to get Ziploc.
He brought props.
I offended. You think last week was bad? The Ziploc ordeal of 2023. We still haven't really recovered.
But also, Ryan is such a big fan of Hefty, that company. That's the problem. He's in the back pocket of Big Hefty.
Hefty's doing it right, man.
He is.
Hefty knows what they're doing.
That's the thing is what you off air. You talk to this guy on the phone. He mentions Hefty a dozen times an hour, like minimum.
Early and often.
Yeah.
Early and often.
You have to.
You got to.
Hefty.
Shout out to my good friends at Hefty. So this is, I don't even know if this fits. I just want to, just in case we don't say it, the one scene where you see all the taxidermy, that's nuts.
Yeah.
That's just,
Yeah.
even by, like, just nuts.
Yeah.
Like, so there's that. I'll save some of the more cuckoo banana stuff for you guys, but like Nick is taking the key of Sandy's keychain. He's got to do a thing early on in the movie. He's attempting to be quiet. And at one point, he shooshes the keychain,
He
which
does
only
what?
makes more. He shooshes like shh.
You mean he shushes?
Would it not be shooshes?
You said shooshes.
I think you can say it either way. It's
Shoot-
not a real word.
He
It's not a tomato
it's
or
a
tomato,
sound.
no?
He shooshes?
Yeah, you can say it either way. It's not.
I've never
it's a
heard anyone
sound.
say, I shooshed you. You shushed him. You didn't shoosh him.
How often in common conversation are you hearing anyone say that?
I have 8-year-old boys. I say shush all the time.
Try shoosh.
I won't try shoosh.
Try shoosh on
That's
for size.
ridiculous.
If you go to a screening of Inside Out 2 in the greater Connecticut
You might
area,
get you might get shooshed by a grown man there to see Inside Out 2 with no kids. That's what might happen.
No way that happened.
You might.
So either way, Tom Cavanaugh made more noise. So
Shooshed.
He shooshed him.
yeah. Ashley and Tom, I do think, although I think this is my problem. This is the real reason why I think Santa Nick was too weird. They have a really good chemistry. They're fun to watch together. Ashley Williams is so good with the screwball comedy. That's Tom's deal. It's really good. But like, if you really think about this, like, what the heck are these two gonna talk about come December 26th? Like, they're going to a North Pole where there's no elves. There's just a couple of reindeer. Like, what are these two going to talk about? That's maybe a what the hallmark, but I find that very strange. And then last one for me. This is the biggest one of the movie, one of my bigger ones of all time. Buck and the mob boss guy, they see the flying reindeer. And first of all, they're both very calmly like, well, that's pretty unique that a reindeer is flying. Apparently they've seen that before. And then the mob boss guy tries to barter him down on the price of trying to hunt this thing, as if doing anything in relation to flying reindeer wouldn't be a once-in-a-lifetime experience worth all the money in the world. Those are my wait ones.
I've seen a flying reindeer for the first time in my life. Could you go half of your cost right
How
now?
about $5,000? Yeah,
That's right. Yeah.
I've got a few. One, Hector, Kid of the Year. We've talked about it. Decade,
Yeah.
quarter century.
Quarter century for sure.
In the running for
Century.
century.
Pinned.
Yeah.
In his first scene, jokes with adult Ashley Williams about making out with him. And well, it's like, what is this, blank check? Am I right, guys? Just didn't see it coming.
He's probably closer to her age than Tom Cavanaugh is.
Yes, but one's illegal and
Yeah,
what
that's
is
right.
what is not.
Yeah.
Buck, when he's introduced, she's on a golf cart doing a tour, and he's like, hey, he starts running after her. He gets very close to this golf cart and then gives up. My guy gave up so quickly. He did all the hard work, and then was like, what nothing I could do here. And I just say either commit or don't commit. At what point, I think it's Nick, when talking about Buck, says that I will knock him into the bay of funding.
Yeah, the Bay of Funding.
And I don't know what that
Please,
means.
someone correct
Ryan,
us.
you got anything?
Nah, I got nothing.
the
Okay,
Bay
cool.
of Funding. That's what we heard. We couldn't
The bay of funding.
caption this bad boy.
They get to the North Pole. He's showing her how sad it is up there, and she's like, "You're the son of Santa," and they look at this painting, and it's like, guys, he's like, could we not get a better painting of Santa? Like, we
real
got
bad.
guys, we got to work on that. That was a disaster, a disastrous painting for, and I don't know, maybe I'm lowballing it, the most powerful man in the world.
In the world. We
Let's
did
get
just
a good
word
painting of
in the chat, Langley and Emily. The Bay of Fundy is in Canada.
And that's why we do this.
And that's how we know that the town is in Canada.
Yeah. Last but not least, he is once he starts telling people he's Santa, he can't stop. He can't.
Yeah.
He tells so many people he's Santa. He shows so many people the mirror. And I feel like that goes against the code of Santa Claus. But maybe I'm wrong. Dano?
Yeah, a couple things. Like, obviously, when you go to the zoo and you take your kids to the zoo, like, do your research on if the zoo is a good zoo, like a zoo that cares about animals and treats them humanely and is doing what's right through rehabilitation and not just there to make money. That goes without saying. This zoo is just taking reindeer. They're not asking any questions. The guy that brought him a reindeer just lied to them. They didn't ask to see any paperwork. They didn't call anybody. They're like, oh, you've got reindeer? We will take reindeer. Great. Doesn't seem above board to me, especially when the guy is wearing a bullseye shirt. This guy, how do we know it's bad? He's wearing a bullseye shirt. He's wearing a shirt that just has a bullseye on it. Weird thing to wear, bro. Weird thing to wear to show how much you love shooting animals. Weird is all I'm saying. The guy that works at the zoo that's supposed to be comic relief but never draws a single laugh from like all movie long. You know, these two guys laugh louder than they laughed anytime he was on screen.
Honestly, Dan, he's so unfunny.
He's so bad
that I forgot about him until this moment.
He's so bad.
Was 30 Rock on the air yet when this had happened? Because that's what they were going for, right?
No, he was not. 30 Rock was not on the air, not till like 06, and this is 04.
Right, well, that's still that.
One of his
funny.
first lines as he's closing up is, "All the monkeys are accounted for." Is this a problem? Are there times when the monkeys are not accounted for? Like, are there nights where they're like, we can only find 3 of these bad boys? They must be like, do you have to go around and aren't the cages pretty contained? Like, we don't need to account for the monkeys.
I don't know, man. Like, people are riding elephants and stuff at this zoo. It seems
reindeer just flying around.
Very willy-nilly.
Yeah. Speaking of accounting for reindeer, the guy, Buck, that steals the reindeer, he has at a random airport hangar a fully enclosed cage to keep the reindeer in. One with a roof on it.
Yeah.
It is 20 feet tall, 12?
At least.
20 feet tall, massive. Who are you, dude? I mean, I get it if you have a cage for animals that you're selling on the black market, but one with a roof on it for the flying ones? You are prepared at a level that only serial killers are. Are you Joe Goldberg? Like, dude, you just take a breath. That's all I'm saying.
Who's Joe Goldberg?
He's the TV show You.
Okay.
He's the serial killer in You, and he has a glass case he keeps people in.
Oh, so they got it from this.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe they stole it from this.
Maybe they did?
Yeah, maybe.
Only Goldberg I know is from Mighty Ducks.
Also shocked that super shocked neither of you knew the Joe Goldberg reference. That you two weren't watching You. The son of Santa can travel through mirrors.
But you know Goldberg's from Mighty Ducks, right?
And Goldberg
is the best.
Goldberg. And Goldberg from WCW, obviously.
Sure. Real quick, though, now's not the time, but, like, Bombay, like, what do you think? Like, Goldberg's on a cold streak. Put in Julie the Cat before the last shot.
The fact that Julie the Cat is not in there is full misogyny. Julie the Cat's miles better than Goldberg as a goalie.
That's exactly right.
I mean, Bombay just in general. Also, like, let's not dress Charlie Conway on the biggest stage. He's maybe the 4th best player on the team. Some really questionable coaching decisions.
What if we give Julie the Cat?
Bombay.
What if we give Julie the Cat an eating diet side story? What if we do that for Julie the Cat instead of have her be the goalie because she's better? You know what? D3 might be better.
What's crazy?
You're starting to talk me into
what's crazy about Mighty Ducks? Like when I was a kid. Like, I was under the impression, like, I was like, oh, yeah, not Bombay. Charlie's the star of the Mighty Ducks squad. And then you watch it back later after some time and you go, he's not good. He's not a good hockey. He's not a good hockey player.
Banks is the guy.
Banks is the guy.
No, Charlie's a good hockey player. He's just not the best.
But he's not Banks.
I don't know. I think you could pick 5 better hockey players.
Brand, there's a guy against Iceland who doesn't know how to skate, and they sit Charlie Conway before the guy who doesn't know how to stop skating.
I'm not saying that's a good idea. I'm just saying I think that we could pick 5 better hockey players.
Which one doesn't know how to stop? Is it Wu or is it Mendoza?
It's Benny. It's Mendoza.
Mendoza. Yeah.
With that said, Julie the Cat is the 2nd best player on the Mighty Ducks.
Unequivocally the better goalie.
Yeah. But like, I would go Banks, Julie the Cat in terms of best players on the Mighty Ducks.
Yes, for our Mighty Ducks podcast, when we're done watching the movies, we'll rank these at some point. And obviously those 2 are the best. Everyone else is a specialist. Knuckle Puck, Fulton just hits it hard. The Bash Brothers. They're the
That is I guess because Charlie is really Triple D and that's it.
Flying V. Banks is it. Banks, then Julie the Cat.
Banks is the best player.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm just saying there were Dwayne, I mean, he's roping people. Charlie Conway should have been on the ice over Dwayne.
Dwayne's
roping
useless.
Dwayne's not.
This yeehaw BS. Sit in the stands, Dwayne.
Yeah. Who do you
I'd
want on your
rather have
third line?
Mendoza that can't stop skating than you.
Who do you want on your third line? The guy from Dawson's Creek or the C character from Ride?
At
You
least
like,
he's got a triple D. This guy is just Boomhauer from King of the Hill as a teenager. What are we doing?
Bombay says one day we're not going to practice at all. Dwayne, get out there, rope him up.
Rope him up. Rope him up.
It's a rope him up day.
We got to make this talk matter, guys. I don't know how we got to. Santa can travel through mirrors, but still needs keys to open doors. You guys playing that one for me. Everybody's got a gosh darn mirror. Everybody's got a GD mirror. It is easy. Travel through mirror. Unless that's not how it works. Maybe all mirrors lead to North Pole.
All mirrors lead to North Pole.
Okay, great.
Because it's the snow.
Good
That's
to
why
know
it's
now.
called snow.
Yeah. This is a pretty big one for me. All these kids are getting rowdy. They're waiting on Santa. They were promised Santa. Santa's not here. What do you know about kids and Santa? They want Santa to be there so they can talk to him and ask him for a present because they think he's real. They lose Santa, and then Tom Cavanaugh steps in and he pretends to be Santa. He walks in the room, and the kids go nuts. And immediately, do they form a line to see him, B, rush him to try to tell him what toy they want, or C, chant for a story? These kids are perfectly content to not see Santa Claus, but to all as a group go, story, story, which is some of the weirdest behavior I've ever seen from children, in all honesty. That's not what would happen there at all, and it happened here, and it was really, really weird. Speaking of weird, the lack of respect for Santa in this movie is crazy. And if I'm telling you it's crazy, it's crazy. Numerous different people that play Santa just pull their beards down in front of children to talk to them.
It is a complete.
No one even tries a voice. No one even tries a Santa voice throughout the movie. It's just like, this is my voice. Let me pull down the beard. It's getting a little scratchy. It's crazy. It's crazy that any kid believes in Santa by the time this movie's over. And then lastly, at the end of this movie, they're delivering presents, and Buddy is one of the reindeer in the sleigh, like this driving the sleigh. And they say there's 8. We know the reindeer. We know them.
Do you know what happened?
Prince of Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donna Blitzen.
That's
Thank
exactly
you.
right. That's
Yes.
exactly right. Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donna. I could do this all day.
And here's the thing. If that movie's good for something, it's you guys knowing the reindeer.
That's the only reason I know the reindeer.
But here's the
Genuinely.
thing. Is we know all those you would say, Brand, big Christmas movie guy, that the reindeer and their names are pretty iconic.
Yeah.
Who's Buddy replacing? Buddy, there's still just 8.
Bad news about Dancer, you didn't hear?
Yeah, bad news about Dancer, you didn't hear. That's exactly right. But having a reindeer they're training to fly the sleigh is insinuating that one reindeer isn't hacking it. Like can't do it. And that is wild that happens in this movie.
Dancer got benched for Julie the Cat.
That's right, yes. It's a Julie the Cat Goldberg situation.
A guy calls up Martin Mull. He doesn't know the reindeer. He just says, let me give it a try. Way wrong.
Tito, Jermaine. Yeah.
Jackson 5.
I know who it is. Yeah. I love that you guys love that movie. Thrilled for you.
It's so good.
I haven't seen it since the theater.
I don't know how to make it happen, Ryan, but we need to watch that movie together. We just in the same room holding hands and eating popcorn.
Oh, 100%. I mean, we could just, I'm going to be down in a couple of days. We can just watch it for kicks and gigs. You know? Like.
Oh man. I love that idea.
That's all I got, Brand.
What if we do a special Ticket to the Tape of that?
Yeah.
Me, you, Ryan.
Yeah.
I'm in.
It's time for the Hallmark story. What could have been. Maybe helping get some clarity to any questions that we still have. After watching this, I think we all have a lot of questions. But Ryan, anything in particular sticking out that you would like some answers to?
So this is another slight spoiler for Brain Freeze, which I have already watched at the recording of this podcast of us doing the first one. Probably mainly because he aged out, but Hector is not in the.
Oh my gosh, they kept Buck, but Hector doesn't
Yeah.
make an appearance.
None of the folks from the house, whatever the rent situation was, are
whatever
in the
that is.
sequel. And I just hope they're all doing okay. I just hope they're all happy. And I hope that Tom and Ashley let them keep the lights so that they can feel like Christmas for them going forward.
So we find out, obviously, in the North Pole that Santa Nick does it all himself. It's a one-man operation, basically.
One-man operation. No elves.
Like, is he all right? Like, is he good? Like, that's a pretty lonely life.
I'm lonely.
Very nicely done.
Yeah, I'll play it. I'll cue it up. I worry about him, and I just want to make sure that he's okay.
I'm lonely.
Man, Ryan was pitch perfect there.
You were.
That was nicely done.
Thank you.
But I'm lonely.
It's the gift that keeps on giving, really.
Lonely.
All right, okay. Is he okay?
Who?
That's all, Santa. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah, Santa, is he okay? I have one that I can't believe no one asked, and it is pretty straightforward. How did Buck get to North Pole, and how did he bring reindeer back?
Yeah.
it.
Do you know the answer to that, Ryan?
Buck gets to North Pole in this film.
In the
At the
beginning of
beginning,
this film,
he
shoots Buddy and takes him with him from the North Pole back
No,
to
I thought that was at the zoo.
what?
Why would he shoot the reindeer at
He
the
shot
zoo?
the reindeer at the zoo, and it's still there the next morning.
Or maybe he's out in the wild. He's not. I can tell you. I can tell you. Well, who knows? Maybe Snow 2 isn't the gospel on this, but I don't believe Buck is in the North Pole.
So where is
Snow.
Buddy
That's a great question, Dan.
when he's shooting him?
Well, I think Buddy
has to be
at the-
no. Buck has to be at the North Pole because
at the very least, he is, because I do think Buddy.
as soon as they realize Buddy is lost, they go and find him at the San Ernesto Zoo. How did he get there? Buck went to North Pole and shot him.
Or at least North Pole adjacent. Like, it's possible Buddy wandered off, but he is shot in snow. Like, there is snow on the ground.
Buddy accidentally went through a mirror. I think because Nick was training for his first run, lost track.
Buddy went through a mirror.
No, Ryan, watch the movie.
Watch the well for once in your gosh darn life.
It is snowing outside. Buck is bundled up, and he shoots Buddy.
Buck is not at the North Pole.
Buck is at the North Pole.
What's chat saying? I don't think he's at the North.
The chat is saying he has an airplane hangar, so he probably flew up there. That's what they're saying.
He flew to the North.
That's right. Yeah,
That's the North Pole.
Yeah. No. I'm not saying that works. That's why it's my what the hallmark is. One of Santa's reindeer is kidnapped by big game hunter Buck Seeger. That is what it said.
It's snowing.
It's literally the plot of the movie.
Okay. Can you go to me?
The North.
Can you go
I
to
can't
me?
see this.
One of Santa's reindeer is kidnapped from.
I don't know.
Is there any clear marking that it's the North Pole?
Snow.
Ryan. The literal definition of the plot says one of Santa's reindeer is kidnapped by Buck Seeger.
Look at him. Do you see anybody else in this movie bundled up like that?
No, he's at the North Pole. Clearly.
He's not at the North Pole.
He is at the North Pole.
Call Ashley Williams right now.
Why is this so hard, Ryan? This movie is so wacky and zany and crazy. Why is this a hill you're dying on?
I can't. I don't want. I'm telling you, I watched Snow 2 last night, and I don't think he was at the North Pole.
He's at the North Pole. Period.
You're gonna watch Snow. I'll see you Thursday, and I think the first thing you're gonna say is great to see you. Wow, I thought you were a little taller in person. I can't believe this guy. He wasn't at the North Pole. He wasn't at the North Pole. I'm telling you.
Where do you? So you're saying they rewrite history?
That this is the synopsis. I'm reading from the synopsis. When one of Santa's reindeer is kidnapped by big game hunter Buck Seeger.
So at the very least, he was somewhere.
Yeah, Buck
not
is
the
kidnapping him from at the point that Buck shoots Buddy. Buddy is with Santa. Where is Santa? In a blizzard.
We smash cut to the zoo right after.
Yeah,
we do.
That's sunny and no snow anywhere.
He's not at the North Pole.
He
I'm
is at the
telling you,
North
man.
Pole.
Dude, I'm Dan. Listen to me, man. He's not at the North Pole.
He is at the North Pole.
You can say
You can
he's
say he's
not
all you want to.
because of Snow 2.
Whatever.
What we're
In this
saying is
movie,
in
Snow
Snow
2 didn't
1.
exist, and he's in the North Pole.
Why would he at no point mention the fact that he had been to the North Pole?
Because he doesn't want people to know how he got the reindeer.
That's why he's lying to Ashley about where he got the reindeer.
Why wouldn't he just go back to the North Pole and get more reindeer?
It's a good question.
That's a great question. Now we're getting somewhere.
You are so emphatic that it's not the
It's
North
why-
Pole.
Why? It's so clearly the North Pole.
I feel very confident.
All of the evidence is there. Your feelings aren't the evidence. Like
Was there any candy striped candy cane paraphernalia that you saw around
Was
the
there
premises?
any candy striped candy cane paraphernalia? That is what you need? It says he was The synopsis says he's kidnapped. Where else would Buddy be?
In a place,
At a reindeer holding station in Ottawa? No,
Wait a
the
second.
Pole.
If I was kidnapped, you would just automatically assume it was at a Power Rangers fan convention?
No,
Just because
I would
was-
assume
it's
from your
where
house.
you live. Where you live.
and at the very least, you have to admit
This is
that he is shot and taken in a snowy wooded area
From his
a
home.
place we.
Why would he not have taken all 8 reindeer?
That's
Why
a
would he not
good.
have taken-
Well,
Once
because
again.
Buddy, I think, has wandered off. I do think that happens.
But it's kidnapped from his home, Ryan.
How would he not know that Nick is Santa Claus?
I don't know, Ryan.
he's in the
He's not seen
woods.
him.
He doesn't see the North
He's
Pole.
in the woods of the North Pole?
Yeah.
Watch the movie.
Watch the movie.
I
Go
just
ahead,
showed
Aaron.
you the
Go ahead,
clip.
Aaron.
I think it's possible
Oh,
for the
boy.
reindeer to be at the North Pole
Oh.
and Buck not know that he is adjacent to the North Pole.
Yes, exactly.
So the reason
Adjacent-
that Buck isn't saying, "Hey, I saw Santa," is because he doesn't know. He's just gone north to where there's snow.
Did you text Ashley? Do I need
Yes,
to?
I texted Ashley.
I think you're both right.
No. He
okay.
says I'm fully confident that he's not at the North Pole.
So like Buck doesn't know. Like you were saying, like
Buck
oh,
is
why didn't
there
Buck
by
just steal-"
mistake?
No, he doesn't know. Oh, this is Santa's village. He just takes his airplane north.
But he knows he's at the North Pole. He has to. If he takes an airplane, he's flying to somewhere. He's
No,
got a map.
Aaron's solution is probably the right one. Like, he can't know he's at the North
But
Pole.
okay, then Aaron is answering my what the hallmark, which is how did Buck get to North Pole and how did he get the reindeer back? What Aaron is saying is he flew to an undisclosed location and didn't know he was at the North Pole.
Right.
That still
Buck just
insinuates
thinks that he's like in the northern
but
woods hunting
as long
reindeer.
as we establish
just trying to
the
hunt deer.
insinuation that he's still at the North Pole, I don't care. I don't care if he knows he's there or not. He's there.
I think if we looked at MapQuest, he would
Oh
be
my
somewhere
gosh,
near the North Pole.
MapQuest over here.
Yeah.
Well, Langley says in the chat, Nick says he lives adjacent to the North Pole.
Yeah, right beside it. He doesn't live right on the pole.
So no one lives at the North Pole?
The North Pole
Is just one dot. You can't
That's
live
the
on
North Pole.
Yeah. That's it. That's the North Pole.
Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen.
Buddy, Comet, Cupid. Yeah.
Tito.
Yeah.
Next
Was
week,
it funny then? Not funny now.
I mean, you couldn't be more wrong about.
As a Sinbad stan, I can tell you it's some of his worst work.
No.
But again, when was the last time you watched it?
The
Theaters.
decom is some of his
he
worst
has
work.
it. That's
Well,
exactly
that
right.
no,
first of
that
all.
is his worst work. There's a difference.
You're gonna rewatch Jingle All the Way, and you're gonna be like, I was wrong.
I would love to be.
It's a
I
laugh
would
a
love
minute.
to be wrong.
It's
on
a
that.
laugh a minute.
Okay, we'll clock it.
You're gonna go in with a bad. You're
I
gonna go with
won't-
a
I won't-
sour
wait a minute.
puss.
Well, who wants to? I want to
You're
watch.
sourpuss.
I want to watch and enjoy a Sinbad movie of any kind. You know that about
You're an
me.
SP.
A Sinbad Christmas movie. Bring it.
You're an SP.
SP.
How many people do you know that have seen all of Sinbad's movies? Just me. Just me. House Guest, First Kid, watched them. Necessary Roughness, watched it. Seen them.
First Kid, you can watch Dan review if we get to 300 likes on Decom Descendants.
I've already reviewed for. We've
Yeah,
already
we
done
did
a take it to the
that's
tape for First
true.
Kid.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I got that TTTT feed is awesome.
That's exactly right. All right.
is.
I don't have a response from Ashley,
Yeah.
so
I guess we'll end the episode.
save it for next week.
Yeah.
By the way, I like that in this scenario. Ashley Williams would at the ready be ready to explain the first 10 seconds of Snow to us.
I said at the beginning of Snow, does Buck shoot Buddy at the North Pole or somewhere else? And I understand that this text is out of nowhere about a movie from 2004. No response.
Yeah.
20th anniversary. They've been celebrating. it
Yeah,
all
they've
year
been
very
Oh,
celebrating
yeah, all year.
All year.
All year. The whole cast is getting together.
Leading to the big
We'll be back next week with Snow 2: Brain Freeze. And we'll be back tomorrow on Deck the Hallmark, and we'll be back with you
Bramblefest
later tonight.
tickets.
So it's a lot of moving parts here. Deck the Hallmark. Merry Christmas.
Hallmark, the Bramble Jam podcast is produced by Aaron Shea.
Deck the Hallmark.
For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.